In the glittering world of celebrity culture, where private struggles often spill into public headlines, one phone call between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West has resurfaced to spark fresh conversations about power, fame, and the fragility of human relationships under the weight of the spotlight. This unearthed exchange, captured in 2018 and now revealed in a recent documentary, takes us inside a pivotal moment when Kim, overwhelmed by tears and sleepless nights, confronted Kanye about the fallout of his controversial public choices. Her words were not just those of a wife worried about her husband's image, but of a woman alarmed at the prospect of bridges being burned in industries where relationships mean survival. As the conversation unfolds, Kim's voice carries urgency. She warns that pushing away allies, attacking institutions, and dismissing partnerships could leave Kanye isolated, waking up one day with nothing. It is a striking moment, one that reveals her instinct to safeguard their shared world from collapse. But Kanye, ever defiant, rejects the caution, framing his actions as rebellion against what he called a slave business. In this tension lies the heart of the story, the clash between protecting legacies and challenging systems, between caution and confrontation, between a wife's warning and a husband's refusal to bend. The phone call in question dates back to 2018, in the aftermath of Kanye West's highly publicized meeting with then-President Donald Trump at the White House, a moment that stirred outrage across the media landscape and left those closest to him grappling with the consequences. For Kim Kardashian, it was not just another headline. According to her own words, she had been unable to sleep, crying all day, describing the situation as a nightmare that simply would not end. Her distress was rooted not only in Kanye's political statements, but in the ripple effect they were having on their personal lives, their family, and the carefully cultivated networks that had carried them to the top of global culture. In the unearthed recording, Kim's tone is urgent, almost pleading. She warns her husband against burning bridges, stressing the importance of maintaining ties with companies and collaborators who held real power over careers, opportunities, and legacies. It was a pragmatic caution, a reminder that in industries built on fragile alliances, walking away from partners could mean walking away from stability itself. She urged Kanye to consider the cost of his defiance, to think of what might be lost if every bridge behind him went up in flames. But Kanye's response was as uncompromising as ever. He dismissed concerns about professional fallout, insisting he didn't care how people in the business world viewed him. To him, these industries, from music labels to television networks, were nothing more than slave ships, institutions designed to exploit rather than empower. His words reflected a deep resentment, a desire to break free from structures he believed had long controlled artists like himself. This clash of perspectives, Kim's pragmatic plea for preservation and Kanye's radical rejection of the system, exposes the deeper tension that ran through their marriage and public lives. It was not just about one controversial meeting or one headline. It was about two worldviews colliding, one rooted in caution and survival, the other in rebellion and defiance. And as the call makes clear, the stakes were far greater than either could fully grasp in that moment. This phone call is more than a private exchange between two of the world's most recognizable figures. It is a window into the high-stakes reality of fame, influence, and survival in the modern entertainment industry. For Kim Kardashian, the warning about burning bridges carried a truth she had learned firsthand. In Hollywood and beyond, relationships are currency. Brands, networks, and partnerships can elevate or erase a career, and the line between success and downfall is often drawn not by talent alone, but by who remains in your corner when the dust settles. Her fears were not unfounded. Severing ties with powerful institutions could mean fewer opportunities, dwindling influence, and an erosion of the legacy they had built together. Kanye West, however, represented the opposite pole, the artist as disruptor, unafraid to alienate entire industries in pursuit of what he believed to be freedom. His refusal to bend to the expectations of companies and critics spoke to a larger narrative of defiance against systems he saw as oppressive. In his mind, holding on to integrity, even at the cost of partnerships, was worth more than preserving appearances. This tension between preservation and rebellion, between Kim's pragmatic caution and Kanye's uncompromising defiance, resonates far beyond celebrity culture. It raises universal questions. How much should we sacrifice to maintain relationships with systems that do not always serve us? When does protecting bridges become complicity? And when does burning them become self-destruction? And as history would show, Kim's warning that one could wake up one day with nothing would echo ominously in the years to come as Kanye's public controversies escalated and partnerships began to unravel. In retrospect, the call was not just a clash of opinions, but a foreshadowing of the turbulent road ahead. In the years that followed, Kim Kardashian's warning proved almost prophetic. What began as a plea to protect vital connections slowly unfolded into a reality where Kanye West's choices would test the very foundations of his empire. Major brands that once celebrated his creativity and influence began to distance themselves. Fashion giants, streaming platforms, and corporate partners grew wary of his increasingly unpredictable statements, particularly as his public controversies deepened. Deals worth millions were dissolved almost overnight, and headlines shifted from praising his artistry to chronicling his disputes, outbursts, and unraveling partnerships. For Kim, the emotional strain of that 2018 moment only intensified. As a businesswoman who had built her own fortune through strategic alliances, she understood better than most the importance of maintaining bridges rather than torching them. Watching Kanye openly challenge and sever ties with institutions she still depended on placed not only their careers, but also their family's stability under an unrelenting spotlight. Eventually, the friction between caution and rebellion seeped into their marriage itself, contributing to the cracks that would lead to their separation. The fallout was not just personal. Kanye's vision of liberation from slave ships, as he called them, carried real consequences for the very industries he sought to break away from. Once seen as a cultural icon who could reshape fashion and music, he became a polarizing figure whose battles overshadowed his art. For supporters, he was a revolutionary refusing to bow to systemic control. For critics, he was a cautionary tale of self-destruction, a man who ignored every warning, even from the person closest to him. Looking back, the unearthed phone call feels less like a private marital dispute and more like a defining moment, a crossroads where two paths diverged. One toward preservation, legacy, and control, the other toward confrontation, risk, and the unknown. And while Kim's words still echo with a sense of foreboding, Kanye's refusal to yield reminds us that the cost of defiance is often paid in the bridges left behind. The unearthed phone call between Kim Kardashian and Kanye West is more than just a glimpse into their private lives. It is a mirror reflecting the delicate balance between survival and rebellion in the world of fame. Kim's warning about burning bridges was not simply the voice of a worried spouse. It was the foresight of someone who understood the machinery of celebrity and how quickly it can turn on those who defy it. Kanye's defiance, on the other hand, reveals the eternal struggle of the artist to choose freedom over compliance, even when the cost is staggering. In the end, this moment captures the very essence of their story. A marriage pulled between two worlds, a partnership strained by opposing philosophies, and a legacy shaped by choices that continue to ripple years later. Was Kim right to caution against isolation, or was Kanye justified in rejecting the systems he viewed as exploitative? That question still lingers, as both of their lives continue to unfold in the public eye. And perhaps that is why this phone call resonates so deeply today. It is not just about two celebrities caught in conflict. It is about the universal crossroads we all face, whether to protect the bridges that sustain us or to burn them in pursuit of something greater. Thank you for watching. If you found this story compelling, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more deep dives into the untold stories behind the headlines, and let us know in the comments. Do you think Kim's warning was a prophecy, or was Kanye's rebellion a necessary stand?